All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Weiner Wellness Virtual Summit. We are here for our first live lecture this morning on this beautiful Saturday. Wow, it's Saturday already. With Jamie Dorley, CEO of Nutritional Frontiers and the Weiner Wellness Center. And he's going to be talking to us today about reading labels. If you could hear your food, supplements, and medications, and now vaccines, what would they say, Jamie? Yikes.
Good morning, Dr. Tracy. And first of all, thank you so much. You do an incredible job as VP of Education and Marketing for Nutritional Frontiers and the Weiner Wellness Center and World of Wellness. So really appreciate the fantastic work you and your team did this week and making this all possible. And it seemed like it has gone without a glitch. So thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. You're welcome.
So I think we need to back up these slides a little bit, but it's okay. Maybe start from the beginning. Is there a beginning? So we're going to talk about labels today. I think this is an important part for anybody's program because we want you to be able to look at a bottle and have the label talk to you. And there's really three things that we want to help you with. One is the amount of the ingredients. Two is the form or the bioavailability, the absorbability of the ingredients. And three is what else is in there we really don't want. Okay, so when we take a look moving forward here, this is a little bit of my background. The reason I show this so you understand that I am committed to wellness. I've been doing this for over 30 years. It'll actually be my 30-year anniversary from graduating from Slippery Rock in December. That's probably longer than Phil's been on the planet, but that's okay. So I've been at this a long time, worked for all phases in the industry. Worked in Bally's Health Club, which is now LA Fitness. I was American College of Sports Medicine certified personal trainer, just like you, Dr. Tracy. I worked in sports nutrition in the 90s, and I was national and international sales. And then I decided to work with the healthcare professionals. So started with Metagenics as a local sales professional in Pittsburgh, got promoted to district sales manager in Florida, and then Southeast regional sales manager. And I'd probably still be with Meta, a great company, the Kaki family, Dr. Bland. However, they did sell. So I decided to start Nutritional Frontiers with the late, great international icon, Dr. James Weiner. I did own NutriPharmacy for a while and owned World of Wellness. So that's where we are right now. We do have the clinical experience. So I'll give you a little idea of what the World of Wellness looks like. So this was started by Dr. Weiner, of course, over 30 years ago. And we are accepting new patients. So you can come in and schedule an appointment. You can call 412-922-9355. That's 412-922-WELL, W-E-L-L. And the whole idea is to get you on a course for wellness, maximize your performance, and then maintain those results. So we do that with chiropractic. We do that with nutrition. We do that with the lifestyle therapies. We do that with muscle therapy, applied kinesiology. We do all types of different testing here. Now we have some new therapies. You go to the next slide. We have some new therapies, including the laser, which has been a big hit by people. They love the laser. That's great for pain and inflammation. We also have the compression boots, which I absolutely love, Tracy. I did one session on those with Dr. Phil, and I was able to see improvements right away.
That sounds great. Yeah, they sound nice.
they are fantastic. When we get you down there, we're going to have to zip you up and get you in there because they really help. What I noticed is almost like I oiled my legs, right? All the little nicks and pains and, tightness all went away in one treatment. So I'm hoping to get back in there today. But we do everything. We do a lot of education. You can walk in. You can come to our wellness events, listen to our radio, our newsletters, videos. The whole goal is to help you improve your results that you're getting because wellness is a continuation. It never stops. Don't think there's a goal and you're done, right? I think that's what happens to a lot of people, Tracy, is that they get on a program and hey, I want to lose weight or I want to clear up my skin. They get the results. They go back to what they were doing before. Inevitably, what happens, Tracy?
Well, they get the same results. They get the same dis-ease of the body when you go back. You don't want to go back. You want to go forward.
Exactly. So we're not looking for the cure. We're looking for the cause. And most causes of chronic conditions are lifestyle related. That's what we're addressing here at the World of Wellness and the Wine and Wellness Center. So give us a call. Doesn't matter where you are, if you've been here before or what your level is of wellness. We want to get you in here and start getting some results. Because you go back to 400 BC, I wasn't there, and I know Tracy wasn't there. Joe may have been around, but 400 BC, Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, said, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine thy food." So based on that, Dr. Tracy wrote up our Holistic Truth and our NFL Life lifestyle program, which focuses on the pyramid of health. You want to talk about that a little bit, Tracy? Because I know you use this in your practice. I use this on myself, and absolutely love it. It's a great system to use. It's very simple and effective.
Yeah, it's just based on 4 phases, how I used to practice. So when people would come in as a client, I would start with reset. I would reset their mindset, their nutrition, their hydration, their movement, their sleep, their elimination, their emotional and spiritual wellness. That's the foundation of the pyramid. And then I would, remove anything that shouldn't be there, whether it was a cleanse they needed, parasites, candida, limiting thoughts, toxic environment, whatever that looked like. And then phase 3, we would rebuild them. So whatever system, function, or organ was affected by their poor lifestyle, by their, toxicity, we would rebuild that with the NF solutions. And then recharge was the last phase. And that basically was like, who are you going to be now as this new healthy person? And we would walk that out and what that looked like. So it was just a very simple model to practice. And it really worked. It was very effective.
What I found is that for me, the part I love is that this program keeps flowing, right? Joe gave me a great book, Be Like Water, from Bruce Lee and his daughter. And I think this program, we got to look at it like that because, when I get through the recharge phase, then I'm like, okay, I got to reset again, right? I have new goals. Right now, my goal for summer is leaner, more limber, right? Lighter. And, want that flexibility. And each time you get to those points, you need to reestablish your goals. And I think that's the fun part is that the program's never over and you consistently will get results if you keep resetting at the end. That's probably the newest part for me that's been so helpful. So thank you. So we look at the period a little more in depth. It's just looking at each one of those levels. And it starts with the foundations. That's the lifestyle therapies. And then I was talking to someone that says, oh, you need probiotics and enzymes every day. You really should. And you should eat the food that feeds the probiotics. And then you need macro and micronutrients. So this is all food-based and food-based supplements. You need your essential fats and your phytonutrients. If you do that, saying self-care is how you take your power back. And I love what Robert Scott Bell says, the power to heal is yours, right? If somebody tells you you can't get help on your situation, that means they can't help you. Right? There's been many people in our lives that have doubted us and told me you can't do this and can't do that. I was told when I started Nutritional Frontiers, you're making the biggest mistake of your life for you and your family. And I took that as extra motivation. So folks, you got to take charge and take responsibility. And it all begins with reading the labels. So let's go to the next slide. They actually have some really cool technology out there now that you're able to apply these little devices to labels and it will read it for you. However, you don't need a device. We want you to be able to read the label on your own. So let's go to the next one. And, I like things without a label, right? If you look at number 1, food, right? Tracy says ground, tree, flies, swims, or runs. I always say that the best foods to eat are things without the labels, right? Vegetables should be number 1 on your list, right? I don't care if you eat them raw, steamed, sauteed, however you want them, eat them. If you're doing some organic eggs, put veggies in there. If you're doing a salad, put veggies on there. If you're eating some fish for dinner, add veggies. Veggies should be at least about half your plate. What are your thoughts, Tracy?
Yeah, I don't think we get enough fruits and vegetables in. So anytime that you can eat them, try to eat them. And they don't just have to be for dinner or lunch. Like you can eat them as snacks, like good chips or a good, carrot sticks and, broccoli and hummus and guacamole. I mean, all of that is great combining. So
yeah, and you can find
anytime.
some organic dressings, or you can make your own to put on these things or dips and stuff. So make it fun. what I do when we have people over or, the families all around is I just buy that big veggie tray and I just sit it on the table because people are going to pick at that, right? If they don't, they're going to eat something else. So make those fun. I remember when Mikey used to come over to my house quite a bit, he'd always bring a veggie tray because he knew no matter what, that would be a good thing to bring and that people would eat it. So let's go to the next one. So if you look at food overall that's in a package, there's going to be certain things on the label you want to read. One is the serving information. So it'll tell you serving size, right? So it could be 1 cup, it could be 1 piece, depending on what it is. Then it's going to tell you calories per serving. So if you eat the whole bag, you got to multiply the number of servings that's in there. Then it's going to break down your macronutrients, your protein, your carb, your fat, your fiber, sugars, right? And then if there's any micronutrients, any vitamins or minerals. So you got to be able to read these very simply. If something's in a package, it's probably not really good. If there's one thing you can look for dietary fiber. If fiber is 2, 1, or 0, probably not a good thing to do. If sugars are more than fiber, that's a good rule of thumb. Probably should stay away. Or if you do eat it, then it's just a snack or junk or a treat. But a simple rule of thumb is it's got to have more fiber than sugar. And you look at something like, a Pop-Tart, right? 1 pastry. Now, I don't know how many...
You're going against Pop-Tart. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I grew up on these, Jamie.
Yeah, and I'm sure you didn't eat 1 pastry because it's 2 per packet. I remember that, right?
And with the icing, you can't eat the ones without the icing.
No. What? You don't need eat them plain. You got to get the icing on them, right? So when you look at these, you got to double everything. So if you do the 2 pastries per packet, that's 340 calories, right? Sugar would be over 30 grams. Pretty much no fiber, no protein, and it's got a lot of, average fats, 3 grams. But Pop-Tarts are primarily high fructose corn syrup. So if you're going to eat these, you're getting 350 calories, mostly of sugar. And I can't see that. Is that 36 grams of sugar, carbs?
Well, think about it. Who are we feeding these to, right? Kids. And then we expect them to go to school and sit down and pay attention and listen. I mean, we set them up for failure.
Absolutely. We were just talking earlier, my young daughter said, when I eat sugar, I don't feel that good. I said, well, you don't have to eat it, right? If you want to eat it as a treat after a meal, it's one thing, but it can't be the meal. And this is what a lot of people do for breakfast. So think hormonally, you spike that sugar up, it comes crashing down. It's a big difference. So your mood changes really quickly. Your energy levels change. Your cravings go up. And you're promoting body fat storage. So make sure you're reading labels, folks. And if you're going to eat something like this, know that this is junk. And you're probably going to feel terrible after you eat it. Let's go to the next one. So again, the things without a label. Yeah, it has some carbs and some natural sugar in it, but it also has fiber, vitamins, minerals, and there's nothing processed in an apple. So always go with the whole foods, and you can just ask yourself, would this rot or spoil if I put it on my counter, right? The Pop-Tart will last there forever. The apple wouldn't last there more than a few days. So the other thing you can always ask yourself is, if the grocery stores were all shut down, would I be able to find this food on the planet? So an apple, of course, Pop-Tarts, not so much. Let's go to the next one. So why is it so important we eat more fruits and veggies and we try and find them organic? Well, one thing is that the fruits and veggie nutritional content has dramatically decreased over the years. You look at even back from when I was a kid, before Tracy was born in the 70s, just from that time until now, the last 40 years or so, things like magnesium is down almost 90%, vitamin C down 50%, right? And today we're eating more and more meals outside the home. So that's why you have to supplement with things like the pro colors, the greens, oranges, purples, and reds, because we're not getting enough nutrients as it is. I also recommend people buy local, have a garden, and then when you go to the store, have a plan to try and buy organic when you can. So Whole Foods, places like that, excellent farmers markets, Amish markets, those types of places. You're going to get local food. It may not always be organic, but at least you know it's fresh and where it was made. So let's go to the next one. I always recommend that people start every day with a shake. So that could be when you get up, it could be early mid-morning, it could be right before lunch, or it could be lunch. The reason being is the number one breakfast, and when I was a kid, Bruce Jenner was on the Wheaties box, and it was called the Breakfast of Champions. In hindsight, it probably wasn't the Breakfast of Champions, maybe the breakfast of diabetes, right? So you look at diabetes, and diabetes, it starts with that high sugar consumption, especially in the morning. So what is Wheaties? Pretty much sugar and carbs. Folks, we got plenty of carbs in our diet. We need is good fats, good proteins, and fiber, plus vitamins and minerals in the right form. So the Power Cleanse is a great way to start every day. And someone said the other day, do you want to cleanse every day? I says, yeah, because your body is constantly under attack from toxins. So what's your thoughts on having people start every day with a shake like Power Cleanse?
I think it's a great choice. I mean, it's going to give you all your macros, your micros. It's also going to offset toxicity that you experience every day in this world. My true experience of starting kids off with junk or even people was when I did the Healthy Kids Club in the school district. Oh. And they had these huge donuts coming in for the kids that did really well that year. So they had like an honors breakfast. And these kids sat down, and they all had been working with me for a long time. So I just paused everybody. It was probably 100 kids in the cafeteria. And I said, everybody take your heart rate. So everybody took their pulse. They wrote it down. They ate their donut. Nobody moved or got up. I said, okay, take your heart rate again. And on average, their heart rates were accelerated higher, 20 points. So you went from like 70s to 90s, and then those kids had to go to class. So it doesn't serve these children. They don't have to eat something, right? They have to eat something before they go to school. And I think what, this entire PowerPoint is about is they don't have to eat something. They have to eat something substantial and something that's going to help their brain and their body. And Power Cleanse is probably one of the best choices for everybody. It's like an everyday shake. Macros, micros, detox. I mean, that's what our body does every day. It needs macros and micros, and it needs to detox. Like, this is all in one. So I love this. This is my favorite.
Yeah, and you can even do a half a scoop for kids if you want, right? It's no problem. But get that nutrient content in early in the morning. We have the keto, we have Power Cleanse, we have Super Shake, we have the Best Way, and we have all the colors. Just do one shake every day for a month and see how different you feel. The great thing is the Power Cleanse has all the nutrients in it, as you can see from the label, that's going to feed your brain, balance your blood sugar, increase energy, and stimulate your body's ability to burn fat for energy. Who doesn't want that? Plus, you have your vitamin and mineral right in here. You don't even need a multivitamin when you're doing Power Cleanse. So this is our Breakfast of Champions. Let's go to the next one. And hey, we are welcoming new members to the Shakeaday Club. I saw Cindy join last week. We got a lot of people joining the Shakeaday Club. Tracy, I have a request. People want T-shirts that say Shakeaday Club member, lifetime member. So
we can do that. We can do that.
Keep on. I think it would be really cool for the fall and
absolutely.
In the next year. You get your kit, you get your shaker bottle, and get your T-shirt. Then you got to send us a picture. But that's me actually on Easter Sunday. My son doesn't recognize that, but that's actually my house. So I was getting ready for Easter, and I knew I'd be eating a little more volume and a little more richer foods in the afternoon. So I did the Shakeaday in the morning after my workout. Why? Because I didn't want to go there. My old ways of going to holidays was don't eat all morning, and I would eat so much so quick I wouldn't feel good. So now I do a shake or two, depending what time we're eating, and I go and graze a little more, and I'll eat, take a break, and I'll eat some more that night. So it's a much healthier way to go into every day, especially the holidays or the party days or the picnics or the football games or whatever you're into. Those days you're going to eat a little more food than you like or be exposed to a little more food. So do a shake. I guarantee you won't crave or eat anywhere near the volume than if you don't eat. So let's go to the next one. So we looked at food, right? And we got food from junk, food from food, natural food, and they have food from supplements. So those are all really key because you have to eat every day. Now, if you're doing a medication, these are the things you need to know. So the medication will have all the information on here of who you are, where you got it from, how to take the medication, the quality, the quantity filled and all those things. So very simple. Some things are very easy to read on here. Some things maybe aren't, but the medication will have all those different things on there listed for you. So let's go to the next one. And then we have over-the-counter medications. And the medications that's a prescription and over-the-counter either have an insert in them or a packaging that you can read. You got to read the label, folks. Just because it's over-the-counter does not mean it's safe. Acetaminophen poisoning is still one of the top things that people die from over-the-counter medications, right? Especially when you combine it with alcohol, because it depletes the glutathione in the liver. So a lot of people may take Tylenol because they have a headache, because they partake in a little too much drinking the night before. Probably the worst thing, my solution for hangover helper is DMG. Take that before you go to bed. Drink a glass of water. When you get up, do some more DMG and some more water and add in some greens. So just because it's over the counter doesn't mean that you're supposed to take it all the time. So let's look at this a little more. This is just on the back of the Tylenol, which is an accepted over-the-counter pain reliever. So you have the drug facts, it's acetaminophen, uses, right? And then here's the warnings. Liver warning. This product contains acetaminophen. Severe liver damage may occur if you exceed the dose. 3 or more alcohol drinks. So I just said that people will drink and then take this, and it says right on the back of the box, do not do this because you can have severe liver damage. You want to comment on that all, Tracy? Because it's right there in the box, but I think people still don't take it seriously.
Yeah, well, I think even Dr. Len Bransowitz, who's a PharmD, ND, MD, says over-the-counter medications that are unmonitored are the most dangerous thing on the market. And, he realizes that people abuse these things and they think, like you said, because they're over-the-counter, they're safe, and they're not. And you were explaining it yesterday, how these medications work on that COX-2 enzyme in the liver, that, that can create pain in joints and muscles, but that same enzyme creates repair in the digestive system. So these work directly on that. And when I talked about these in SPMs, the difference between what nutraceuticals do and how those are formulated, like an SPM or an X-Flame, compared to something like this, is that the anti-inflammatory properties of natural or supplemental work on two arms. They reduce the inflammatory response, but they also work on the cellular repair. So they don't inhibit the COX-2 enzyme. They actually promote the modulation of the macrophage type 2, the anti-inflammatory, the cleanup and repair process of that inflammatory response, because there's two responses. Whereas medications, all it can do is repress and not rebuild. So when you use these over and over and over again, yes, you're getting the repression, but you're also getting the repression of the cellular repair. So it never gets any better. So that's the big difference and why they're so dangerous.
And I'll give a simple analogy because I'm a simple guy. Tracy's very eloquent with her explanation on the science which behind it. So think about if you had a little fire going in the kitchen, right? That's your cell on fire. That's inflammation, right? And then the smoke alarm is your pain sensor. So what Tylenol will do is just shut the smoke alarm off. The fire is still burning. And then it may come back on, and then you shut it off. You keep doing that over and over. The fire still goes. With the SPMs by Nutritional Frontiers or the X-Flame by Nutritional Frontiers, Inflam, turmeric, those types of things, what they're doing is they're actually going to the fire and they're cooling it down. Therefore, you don't have the smoke alarm going off. So don't focus so much on the cure. Look at what's causing the problem. And that's the biggest difference. These medications are very strong. They were designed to use for 24 to 48 hours on rare occasions, not to be consumed every day. So let's go to the next one. Wow. This is interesting because the FDA pulled Zantac off the store shelves, right? Because it had some known carcinogens in it. The next week, I went to the airport, and what was right next to the counter, checking out a Hudson News when I was getting some magazines, was Zantac. So even though they said this has cancer-causing substances in it, people still buy it. Plus, it's an antacid. You do not have too much acid, folks. What happens is the acid goes up. One is you have food in your stomach or junk in your stomach that's not digesting, and over time that'll create a lot of bacteria that spits the acid up. Or you've overeaten, or you push that hiatal hernia, the esophageal diaphragm goes up, that sphincter is open, so the acid goes up. It's not too much, it's in the wrong place. What are your thoughts on that? Because these are some of the most common overprescribed medications, either by prescription or over the counter, these antacids, and they are creating a huge issue in our country.
Yeah, well, they're creating a huge issue pertaining to cardiovascular issues, to bone and joint. I mean, we talked about this again all yesterday. And actually, Dr. Baker talked about antacids with bone density in women.
Yeah.
Just because you are not, putting the calcium where it needs to go, you're not breaking down proteins because you don't have enough hydrochloric acid production. And she talked very specifically on it's not a process of too much. She said it's usually too little.
Yes.
So, and she is a Western trained allopathic medical doctor. And even she knows these are abused. And even in the inserts, Jamie, it tells you not to take these more than 2 weeks. And people are on these years, and doctors don't say anything. So again, another over-the-counter, unmonitored medication. Very dangerous, I think.
Yeah, now if you're doing these medications or the biphosphates, the osteoporosis drugs, if you go to your dentist, they're going to have you sign a waiver, because what they found is that the jaws are cracking when they do dental work. Why is that? Because if you're real acidic, your body will leach minerals out of the bones and teeth to help buffer the acidity in your gut. So the body doesn't make any mistakes. What happens is you have too much acid in the wrong place, right? So the body's solution is to buffer it. So you are sacrificing your minerals from your bones and teeth to help buffer this issue. So we have to help you get off of these over-the-counter medications. Very, very dangerous. In fact, that's half the issue. The other half of the issue is they have known carcinogens in them. I mean, can't do it, folks. Let's go to the next one. This is where they're talking about, they moved to stop selling these heartburn medications, but some people still are selling them. But, anytime the CVS is going to pull something, or Rite Aid or Walgreens, it's a potential huge lawsuit. So by the time they pull it, it's because the research is overwhelming. So we have a solution. Our first formula ever at Nutritional Frontiers was something called ProbZyme. Dr. Weiner and the team at the Weiner Wellness Center did hiatal hernia adjustments very routinely, and they found that the overconsumption of the antacids was at the core factor and the cause of a lot of chronic conditions, right? You're talking about, GI dysbiosis, you're talking about pain, you're talking about osteopenia, osteoporosis. I mean, so many factors lie in that. What about if they're deficient in minerals? I mean, cardiovascular issues, diabetes, blood pressure. So many things go back to that really important, complex ecology of the microbiome in the gut. So ProbZyme, can you take it every day? Absolutely. Can you use it acutely for heartburn and reflux? You betcha. This has probiotics and enzymes. And the most important component, Tracy, as you know, is this is in a chewable, dairy-free, vegan, and gluten-free chewable wafer. So the idea of the chewable is that you start digesting it right in the mouth. Those enzymes and probiotics start working right there. They get down your throat and esophagus, get into your stomach and gut area. So they start working right away in the mouth. A lot of people like them because they help with bacteria in their mouth. They help with heartburn and reflux, and they help digestion. What's been your clinical experience with ProbZyme?
This is a household staple for us, great for kids. Also has really helped with that COVID, loss of taste and smell. One of our practitioners, Dr. Michelle Kunzelman, discovered that process when she actually experienced it herself. So, and then started helping other clients with this formulation. But I'm trying to think who was talking about bacterial health in the mouth. Oh, it was Aaliyah from Biocidin. She was talking about the absolute effects of chronic illness from lack of bacteria in the mouth. Very important. So this is a great formula so that you can have that good flora in your mouth that protects you, because remember, your gums are made from the same cells that your heart tissue is. So gum disease is very indicative of other chronic issues. So this is a great formula and everybody should use it.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. So last Saturday, Mikey G came into my office at the Wellness Center and said, "Are you ready to do a video?" I said, "Sure." So it was a mom and daughter, and the daughter has not had sense of smell for 10 years, Tracy. Mikey gave her ProbZyme.
Wow.
Less than 15 minutes later, I sent this video to you guys. Less than 15 minutes later, she had full sense of smell. Oh. Now, it was hard for me to even believe it, right? She's sitting right there doing the video. I'm like, "What'd you do?" She said, "Just ProbZyme." So,
that's
folks,
awesome.
Think of nutrient deficiency, right? Even when we talk about detoxing, we need to give the body the nutrients it needs, and ProbZyme is a great one. So let's go to the next one. So we looked at food, we looked at over-the-counter. Now let's look at prescription medications, right? So Lipitor, this whole group of, cholesterol drugs, right? You have these whole, the Lipitor, Avastatin, there was Baycol, there's all these different simvastatin, all these COX-2, not COX-2, the HMG-CoA reductase cholesterol drugs, Lipitor being the number one prescribed one. So this is very concerning because the enzyme in the liver that Lipitor works on, the HMG-CoA reductase enzyme, that's the enzyme that converts cholesterol in the body. But the name tells you it all because it says CoA. It also creates CoQ10, which is ATP or cellular energy. So think about this for a minute. The part of the liver that creates cholesterol also creates CoQ10, which is vital for all muscle and all your organs, including the brain, heart, and liver. So when you take Lipitor or any of these cholesterol-lowering drugs, they do lower cholesterol very well. However, at the expense of diminished CoQ10 production, and this is not an opinion, this is proven with the research, Lipitor lowers cholesterol as much as 40%. So think about this. You are shutting down your energy production by about half. How do you think people feel, Tracy, when they take Lipitor?
Well, I know most of the people that I know have low energy, muscle aches and pains. So that's normally, what I see. And then they go back to the doctor and they just change the medication rather than stop it.
Yeah, or even worse, they tell my dad, "Oh, you're getting old." He says, "I didn't need nap 6 months ago." "Oh, you need Soma, muscle relaxer." "Oh, you need pain medication." He's like, "You're crazy." I said, "Pop, you can't. You don't need these medications." So this is what goes on, folks. If you don't know, this is what's going to go on. Now you're going to be on the second, third, maybe fourth medication. Let's go to the next one. All diabetics, all people with cholesterol, all people with cardiovascular issues, and anybody on antidepressant needs CoQ10. I take the Enter CoQ10 every day, 300 milligrams of CoQ10, 300 DMG. I take at least 2 every morning. So this is not a possible side effect. These are effects of the medication, right? And this is saying that, your doctor has prescribed medication. He or she has judged that the benefit to you, Tracy, is greater than the risk of the side effect. So the doctor is determining up front that the medication's benefits outweigh the risk factors without even knowing you on a genetic level, right? They're saying a very small number of people. I love this. It's a small number. There's millions of people on these drugs. Mild memory problems or confusion, and may cause or worsen diabetes. Now, I know Dr. Weiner said this 1,000 times. When you take cholesterol-lowering drugs, the CoQ10 depletion will cause memory problems, dementia, and potentially Alzheimer's. Not an opinion, it's proven, because if you look at the amount of cholesterol-lowering drugs recommended over the years, Alzheimer's has gone up consistently with it. And if they're supposed to lower cardiovascular disease, don't you think we would see a drop in cardiovascular disease?
Right. It's still the number one killer. So what's happening?
not working.
Not working.
Let's go to the next one. It doesn't work, folks. So the effects may cause muscle problems, right? That happens all the time. It can cause muscle weakness, kidney problems. You know, there's a lot of issues here. Folks, you can get help. I was talking to someone yesterday, called the Wellness Center, and the woman's asking me, well, what does my husband take? I says, for what? For cholesterol. I said, well, what products are you taking now? She went down a couple products. I said, what's his diet like? Crap. I says, look, don't buy any more supplements. What your husband needs is to change his diet, because you can't out-medicate or supplement a bad diet. Now, even people that don't care, the medication isn't going to be strong enough. And if it is, it's going to create a lot of side effects. You have to change your lifestyle, folks. Let's go to the next one. Liver problems, urine, kidney. I mean, I love when they say a small amount of people. These are rare symptoms. No, they're not. You're cutting energy production by 50% in the body. You're cutting down CoQ10 by 50%, ATP production by 50%. Plus, you're adding the toxicity with the liver that you have to, the medication, Lipitor, you have to detoxify. So this is why a lot of people, when you factor in adding in things like maybe alcohol, cigarettes, you know, some of these coffees with these heavy hydrogenated fats or sweeteners in it, the accumulation of the toxins, it's just too big of a burden for the body to handle. Let's go to the next one. So what can we use? Something like cholesterol red. Somebody came in the other day and says, do you have plant sterols for cholesterol? I said, yeah. Do you have red yeast rice? Yeah. Do you have coke? I said, they're all in one. They go, oh, wow, we never saw one that had all of them in it. This is a complete formula cholesterol red. It's fantastic because we do use a natural statin base, a low dose of red yeast rice, but we add the CoQ10 right in. We're doing the glucolipids. We're doing the plant sterols. We're doing the polycosanol. This is all in one. They all work differently and in synergy together to manage your cholesterol levels. So cholesterol red, really simple, 3 a day, no side effects with this. So last thing we want to look at, we looked at food, over-the-counter, prescription. Let's look at some supplements. I know you did a great job yesterday, Tracy, going through this. So some of this is a review, some of it's new. So the first thing we look at is the amount per serving. Well, one serving is a tablet. Do you like big tablets?
No, thank you.
Have you had anybody come into the office and say, do you have really big tablets? I love big tablets. They're so hard to swallow. These are great.
Never.
No, right? So the reason they use big tablets is that they can say it's all in one. They can compress a lot of ingredients in a really hard tablet that you're probably not going to digest. So one is a tablet, not a fan. We use very limited tablets at Nutritional Frontiers. Usually we're trying to do a time release. So not a fan of tablets. Number two, the dosing. When you see percent of daily value and it's 100% or less, that's just to survive. That's not therapeutic. So the doses are really low. And then let's look at the form. Let's take B12. Let's pick on an easy one, right? Cyanocobalamin. It is the worst form of B12. Folic acid, same thing. We have DL-alpha tocopherol. So these are not the best forms of the vitamins. They're very low dose, and they're in a hard compressed tablet that's often difficult to absorb and assimilate. Let's go to the next one. So people ask all the time, well, why do I need a multi? Well, one is we're exposed to a tremendous amount of toxicity, even metabolic waste and stress, right? Then you have diet variations with the time of the year and what foods are available. Maybe you're traveling. Maybe you're eating too much foods out. The food overall doesn't have the nutritional quality it once did because the soil depletion, over farming, the use of herbicides and pesticides. And then a lot of people are under a lot of stress from medications. So I just gave you an example of the antacids and the cholesterol meds. Medications deplete nutrients. The big four are probiotics, CoQ10, vitamins, and minerals. So if you are taking any medications, you need to replace those nutrients. So probiotics, CoQ10, vitamins, and minerals. Let's go to the next one. I thought this was going to be groundbreaking news. This is almost 20 years ago, 2002, in June, in JAMA, which is the Journal of American Medical Association, they published and changed their position for the first time in 40 years. So for 40 years, they just told people to eat right. And now the research was actually done at a nice little school, not Slippery Rock, but Harvard Medical School. So you have these fantastic doctors, and they says, because low vitamin intake has been linked to a host of illnesses, we recommend that everybody, regardless of age or health status, takes a daily multi. So there's the research, folks, from Harvard Medical School, 2002, that you need to take a multivitamin every day, but the only thing they didn't do is tell you which multi to take. So the two I recommend are Frontier Multi or Woman's Complete. Now, the Woman's Complete has been our top launch formula. It's been one of our hottest formulas at the Wellness Center. Tracy, in fact, somebody came in yesterday, we were talking, she says, have you had any good feedback on this?
Nah, like, just, anemia being overcome, skin rashes completely disappearing in only like 3 days of dosing. No, nothing to report here. Nothing.
That's the first two I went right into. And I was like, look, I said, you're not going to find a woman's vitamin like this. And a veggie cap, you got 7 trademarked ingredients. And both of these vitamins, you got all the active vitamins, the chelated minerals, and superfoods. The Woman's Complete does incorporate the lactose spore. So great option for females of any age. You can start with 1 and go all the way up to 4 caps a day. So all you need to do to add to the Woman's Complete would be a fish oil, but it has everything else you need in it. This is without a doubt a great opportunity to make it simple and easy. And for less than $1 per day, you can get all the nutrients you need in. That's at 2 caps a day. If you went 1 cap a day, it would be 50 cents. So here's all the research acknowledging the role of vitamins in chronic disease and prevention. And I just want to show the article so people realize like this is real science coming from the Harvard School of Medicine. And it's almost 20 years, folks. So I think it's time that people realize you got to take a good, high quality multivitamin every day. And why not buy it through your healthcare professional like the Wine and Wellness Center, companies like Nutritional Frontiers, because they're going to give you the best therapeutic ingredients that you need. And you'll get the best value when you really see what's in these formulas. Let's go to the next one. So research proves that a multivitamin helps with elderly, people with periodontal disease. A lot of studies have been shown that, you need a multivitamin overall, and look at all generations, right? People need the multivitamin, but it's probably one of the top supplements that people take overall. And that's male, female, young or old, because people starting to realize that they need at least a multivitamin every day. Let's go to the next one. So the key is, how do you choose a multi? Well, I can tell you the one thing you don't choose it by, which is price, right? I just showed you how the number one woman's multi, the Woman's Complete, number one in the world, is less than 50 cents a day at 1 capsule a day. Even at the therapeutic dose, it's less than $2 a day. So it's a great value per day. So you got to look at 3 things: the dose of the ingredients, the form, and what else is in there that you don't want. So let's break these down. Frontier Multi, number 1, it's in a veggie capsule. Number 2, it has active vitamins and chelated minerals. The forms are right, and it has the amounts you need in there. So I think the key is a veggie cap, easy to swallow, and it has the right amounts of the ingredients. So the dose is right and the delivery is right. Let's go to the next one. So there's RDA, RDI, and DRI. So best thing to remember on this is that RDA stands for what? Really dumb amounts. These are enough to possibly keep you alive on the desert island. However, they're not going to keep you alive in 2021 living in America with all the stress you're under. So you need therapeutic dosages, folks, right? You need to have a therapeutic result, and you get that by the therapeutic doses. Let's go to the next one. Number 2 is the form of the ingredients, right? What does that mean? Well, depending on how the vitamin or mineral ingredient is formed, determines how well your body sees it, identifies what it is, absorbs it into the blood, assimilates it in the cells to do something, and then they excrete it out of the body. So the form affects absorption, bioavailability, assimilation, and excretion. It is vital you get the best form of the nutrients. Let's go to the next one. So what do we use? We use tracks. These are albumin. That stands for the real amino acid chelates. Do not pick vitamins like calcium carbonate, magnesium oxide. If those ingredients are on the label, do not take it, throw it away. If you already bought it, take it back to the store. Do not take these types of ingredients. Minerals are unstable. So what do you need to do? You need to stabilize them so that they remain stable in their form. What ways can you stabilize it? One is with an oxide of carbonate. Cheapest, least effective form. It gives you a good laxative. Number 2, you can mix it with an amino acid. That's better. But what do we do in Nutritional Frontiers and albumin tracks? They actually use covalent bonds. So they covalent bond the mineral to the protein. That way, Tracy, your body absorbs it like a protein, like a food. The absorbability is over 90%. When you take an oxide or a carbonate, the absorption is less than 8%.
Wow.
So 10 times the bioavailability and the nutrients. So
the doctors recommend oxides. When my clients come in, the doctors tell them not to take any other forms. They should be taking an oxide.
Well, if they're an allopathic medical doctor, they have not been trained in nutrition like we have. So at least they're telling them to take something. But if you're not getting results, folks, you got to change what you're doing. So we all started with the cheap vitamin because we didn't know better. But as you get educated, it's time to take the next step. So what are some of the other ingredients? This is really where we get fired up, right? Look at the ingredient list. The other ingredients in this multivitamin, the over-the-counter, is more than the active ingredients, right? So you have in here like colors and dyes, artificial flavorings, polyvinyl alcohol. There's actually adhesives in here. So do not buy anything that has a long list of ingredients that you have no idea what they are because they're binders and fillers. And not only are you getting a low dose vitamin with poor forms, you're probably getting a lot of toxicity from the vitamin without even realizing it. Especially if they got colors. If the tablet shouldn't be yellow or blue. That's an artificial color and dye. So we're looking at supplement labels. Again, you want to look at the size, the serving size, right? That doesn't mean you have to take 3 or 4. That's just telling you what's in there. They don't break down if there's any macronutrients, any micronutrients, that's vitamins and minerals, and then any other ingredients that may be in there, and it'll list all those things. It'll tell you who's manufactured by and distributed by, the other ingredients. So it gives you all the facts here, but oftentimes it's very difficult and overwhelming to be able to decipher what these labels are really saying. So we look at, these companies out there that are promoting the use of one ingredient, right? Like choline. Yes, you do need this. Only about 8% of people have choline levels that are adequate. So that means almost nobody. These one-a-days that say now with choline or these other ingredients, they're adding one buzzword to the label. So it's a good thing they're doing, but it's only one piece of the puzzle that you need, especially if you're taking some kind of woman's formula during childbearing years, because oftentimes, even in a committed relationship, pregnancies are unplanned and they don't, usually you don't know for 4, 6, 8 weeks, even if you are pregnant, and you lose a lot of that first trimester development of the brain and the spinal cord. You want to comment on that at all, Tracy? Because I know you have a lot of experience.
With choline and brain and spinal cord, or just prenatal in general?
Prenatal and like the timing, because a lot of people buy the prenatal second or third month in, they've missed the whole trimester.
Well, they don't know they're pregnant. So this is something that women need to really think about, especially when they get their menstruation. I mean, as soon as a young lady gets her menstruation, her body has so many different nutrient needs. And I think that's what happens with our girls. And what happens is they get irregular periods, they get put on medications to regulate them rather than nutrition to regulate them. So, choline and what we use in the Women's Complete, the VitaCholine, that helps with brain, but not only mama brain, but baby brain.
Right.
And the quadrifolic, which we have in there, that first trimester is so crucial for the development of that baby's brain. And we don't even see it. And the quadrifolic, which is the big push on folic acid, that offsets a lot of congenital birth defects. So, if you have girls, daughters, this would be a great formulation for them. And you could do 1 or 2 capsules. Like,
Absolutely.
it doesn't have to be huge amounts.
Oh. And another testimonial, the girl who lost the smell, her mom was with her and her dad, and they've been coming in for years. And the mom was suffering that day from really bad menstruation cramps. So Mikey G put on the Relax, and within 30 minutes, all of her cramping was gone just on taking 2 Relax. So,
I have to say, I've experienced Relax this past couple of weeks, and I took it because I ran out of Mag Complete, because I usually just take Mag Complete, and I had a sample of the Relax. I got to tell you, I love it. I ordered it. I put in my order yesterday for myself, and Colin processed it. And I was just like, man, I love that stuff. It's just good. It's good for muscle. It's good for sleep. There's magnesium in it. It's great stuff.
Yeah, it's another sleeping giant. So let's go to the next one. We've got a couple minutes here left. So, again, here's the Woman's Vitamin by Centrum, low dose, inactive ingredients, and then all the things we don't want. So, folks, do not buy these store brand vitamins, please. Whatever your budget is, we'll work around you. Here's the Woman's Complete, 7 patented, research, trademarked ingredients. You have all your active vitamins, your chelated minerals, your superfoods, your woman's complex, wellness complex with the lactospore, the probiotics. It's a vegetarian capsule. You can do 1 or 2 in the morning and 1 or 2 in the evening. So anywhere between 1 to 4 per day, depending on your health status and what your goals are. And if you want to share it with a sibling or a child or a mom or a grandparent, you're more than welcome. Menstruation all the way through menopause. And there it is. Everything's laid out there. You have all the trademark ingredients. Really proud of this formula, and I'm so happy the results people are getting. There's the Woman's Complete. Nothing else in there. You got the veggie capsules, and that's it. So, of course, we looked at the Centrum a few times already. I think we've pounded this one pretty good. Doesn't have the dose, doesn't have the form, and too many other ingredients we don't want. Yes.
I think they need to go back to the label reading yesterday. And what did Joe say? They should be shot.
Yeah. Take them out in the field and put them out of misery. But, we laugh. Centrum's a $700 million product. One product. That's bigger than Metagenics, Douglas, Nutritional Frontiers, and 3 others combined, terrible. Right? Yeah.
Poisoning 700 million annually.
Just one product. So there we have Nutritional Frontiers, Frontier Multi. One of the I'll give you a little inside information for product development. B vitamins are one of the most expensive part of the multi. And you look at Nutritional Frontiers, Frontier Multi versus Centrum. First of all, Centrum uses B12 cyanocobalamin. We use methylcobalamin. Plus, we have 33 times as much B12 in our formula as they do. Why? Because that's the most expensive part of the vitamin. So they're going to skimp out on the more expensive components. There you go. So the winner is Frontier Multi and Women's Complete. So we got the options for you. We got solutions for you, folks. We're here all day today to help you out. And we look forward to everyone coming down today. It's going to be a great day.
Absolutely.
I think we're running out of time, but I think the last one is fish oil. Folks, the 1,000 milligrams on the front is the total amount of oil. What you want to count is EPA and DHA. So this is 250 out of 1,000. That's 25%. Let's go to Nutritional Frontiers and show them what a label should look like. We have 960 EPA and 640 DHA in 2, and this is a TG triglyceride form. So ours is more than triple strength of theirs, plus we put vitamin D in. So if ours is triple the price, it should be more because of the quality of the nutrients. If you're not sure, bring your vitamins in. I do a free review with you. All you're going to do is bring your vitamins in with you. We'll take a look at them together, help you break down the labels, and more importantly, help you create a new program that's going to get you the best results and the best value without any toxicity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was great. It's never enough to have that lecture reading labels, never, ever enough. I really appreciate everything you said. Doesn't look like there's any questions, but I think a lot of agreement in the chat. So everyone's like, yep, yuck, corporate wellness, yuck, you know. So thank you, Jamie, very much. Make sure you stop down to the Weiner Wellness Center because I know you guys only source the best products.
Absolutely. We got a whole host of products, personal hygiene items. We got bars. We got all types of different things here. If we don't have it, we can special order it. And we're looking for requests too. If there's products you want us to carry as we go through the remodel, we're going to reinvent the store. We're going to bring on some new formulas and some new foods. So let us know. We want to work with you guys as partners in the community. So thanks, Dr. Tracy. Thanks, Phil. Thanks for everyone supporting us. Have a great day. We'll see everyone today, and God bless.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned. Mike Gallagher is coming up. He is going to be talking about blood sugar issues and natural solutions. Stay tuned.